Hi everyone, my name's Tamara. Can I just say from the onset that this night is absolutely filled with history. It's filled with live interviews, entertainment, plenty of dancing, Darren, later, and lots of catching up. I would like to have a big shout out to those who have travelled from far and wide to be here tonight, from Tasmania, from Hervey Bay, from Sydney and beyond. Your effort to be part of this celebration means so much to so many and truly reflects the strength of the friendships and connections built over the years. There's so many people to acknowledge tonight during the evening, but I'd like to just start with a couple of our VIPs. Can I please acknowledge the lovely Angie Bell MP, member for Moncrief. Thank you for being here. And two of our City of Gold Coast councillors, Councillor Joe Wilkinson and Councillor Nick Marshall. Thank you so much for being here too. From my perspective, my connection with Gold Coast Rec and Sport goes back a very long while ago when I first met the late and the very great Daphne Perry, OAM MBE, who many of you will remember, I'm sure. Her passion and love for sport is what brought her to the organisation. She became involved in Gold Coast Rec and Sport through Bobby Welsh, who is a participant, and her mother, Marie Welsh. Along with Daph's niece, Jodie Holmes, who is here tonight, Bobby and Marie are also in the room with us tonight. Where are you, Bobby and Marie? Can we see you anywhere? Oh, hi. Lovely to see you down there. Daph strongly believed in equal opportunity for everyone in sport. For all of those who knew her, they knew that she was a champion in her own right, and it was only natural that she became patron of Gold Coast Rec and Sport. Daph shared her passion for this organisation with me, and that's why I'm here today. And I asked the very talented and sport-loving ABC broadcaster, Tom Forbes, to join me, because he loves sport and he loves people. Over to you, Tom.
Thank you, Tam. For those that don't know me, I present the Saturday morning breakfast program on ABC Gold Coast and fill in other programs as well. I've been on the coast for on and off 30 years. I've always had an eye on this organisation. It does amazing work, and it is such a privilege to be in front of you tonight to help acknowledge many of the people that have had a huge role in this organisation. So let's have a fun night and get through it without too much controversy, okay?
Okay, before we go any further, can I just take one moment to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet tonight, the Yugambeh Language Group, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, for they hold the knowledge, the rich traditions and the ambitions of Australia's first people. Over to you, Tom.
Thanks, Tab. Tonight we celebrate 40 years of impact, resilience and community, but it all started with one man's experience. After a life-changing accident, Neil Ashton found himself facing challenges that went far beyond the physical. At the time, there was very little support available on the Gold Coast for people with disabilities who wanted to stay active and connected. Instead of accepting that reality, Neil, together with his mother Lil, chose to change it. So in 1979, Neil, Lil and Margaret, along with a small group of passionate individuals, came together with a vision to create greater opportunities for people with disability. Then in 1986, a formal committee was formed with Rhonda and Steve Nuns, and I'm proud to say that they are all with us tonight. Please put your hands together for Rhonda and Steve Nuns, Margaret Byrne and Neil Ashton. Their vision, dedication and commitment help create opportunities for people with disability to participate, connect and truly belong. For those early days, Gold Coast Recreation and Sport was born. Neil Ashton was not only a founding member but also one of the very first participants, living the mission from the very beginning. As the years passed, the mission grew into something truly remarkable. In 1997, GCRS honoured Neil and Lil by naming its home Ashton House, a lasting tribute to their vision and dedication. Tonight, it's not just a celebration of the past, but a reflection of the countless lives impacted along the way and the many more to come.
It is a very big honour for me to be here to celebrate the 40 years of exceptional community work. In the beginning, people just weren't confident in going out to dinner or anything, and they just needed somebody to be with them, to build their confidence, and their confidence grew, and Cricket Sport grew. It's a night to remember and celebrate all the wonderful people who have been involved in the growth of the Cricket Sport and all the people who have come and helped out in all different ways.
That was really special, and I know a lot of people in this room will have a connection to Neil. So thank you to Neil for recording such a heartfelt acknowledgement of Gold Coast Rec and Sport and how the organisation has impacted him and his family. Neil is one of many who understands and appreciates the breadth and the depth of how this organisation has changed lives. There's just too many stories to tell. We'll try and tell as many as we can tonight, but there's so many to tell. Neil's sentiment is shared by so many, as I said, including the team behind Gold Coast Rec and Sport, who, when asked for their reflections, spoke about having a deep sense of purpose and fulfilment that comes from supporting participants to grow, achieve goals, and experience new opportunities.
And I'm sure our next guest is very proud of this amazing organisation. It's my pleasure to welcome to the stage GCRS President Margaret Sponberg.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this grand celebration commemorating Gold Coast Recreation and Sport's 40 years of connection and legacy. The past, the present and the future. An institution which is ever evolving. The legacy of tradition and compassion touches us all. There are many people here tonight who were integral to the origins, the very beginning of this amazing organisation. From the beginning, needs were met, relationships valued. There are many people here tonight who have been so gladly and proudly associated with the Rec and Sport family for over 25 years, be they staff or participants. And tonight we have many more recent participants who have started their journey with us. This organisation has provided safety, engagement and support for many participants and families over the past 40 years. The legacy of Rec and Sport can be felt, it can be seen, it can be acknowledged and experienced by all of us. The personal enrichment, various opportunities, increasing in confidence to engage with the outside world, new challenges to be met and maybe achieved are all characteristics of this successful organisation. Its legacy, its traditions, its reliability, its connections have meant so much to the years of participants, the families, the carers in the past, the present and this future. Not many organisations have successfully existed and thrived for so long. What will we do if Reckon Sport did not exist? Reckon Sport caters for the many needs and the interests of all of the people, day after day, month after month, year after year. Tonight, we acknowledge the organisation and its lasting legacy.
You're doing awesome. Keep going. Take a deep breath.
Yes. Please remember, I'll start again. We acknowledge the organisation and its lasting legacy. Please remember to exist for and flourish over 40 years must be commended for the contribution of all staff, management. This is my daughter, Joanna.
Hello, everyone. We are all grateful for the caring attitudes displayed throughout the past abysmal weather conditions and the natural disasters and COVID. Thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you for travelling long distances to join in the celebrations and enjoy reconnections with past friends and workers. Thank you, Southport Sharks, for this wonderful venue, and congratulations to Reckon Sport for the first 40 years and for the next 40 years.
And a big thank you to Margaret and her lovely daughter for coming up. I think we all understand and appreciate what Gold Coast Reckon Sport means to Margaret, her family and many others. And now I'm going to hand over to Tom.
And speaking of committee members, we are fortunate to have our current GCRS committee members with us tonight. Charlie, Gary, Cheryl, Colin, and a special mention to husband and wife team, Shireen and Ian Gibson. Shireen and Ian have been valued committee members and long-standing supporters of GCRS for many years. The much-loved Gibbo Hub was named in honour of the Gibson family and continues to be a place where the facilities, daily programs, connections and community for so many of our participants. Would you please join me in thanking them for their ongoing support and dedication to GCRS. Before we enjoy our entrees, we'd like to acknowledge another two very special people with us tonight. We have Marion York, who was employed as the second ever staff member and dedicated an incredible 21 years to GCRS, and Rosemary, our third staff member, who first worked with GCRS from 1991 to 1996 before heading overseas, but apparently life away from GCRS just wasn't the same because she came back again in 2001 and stayed until 2009. And when we finally managed to get rid of her, she was gifted a dragster bike, which she immediately took for a spin around Owen Park to test it out. Some people leave quietly. Rosemary literally did laps before saying goodbye.
Today, Gold Coast Reckon Sport proudly has 189 staff members, an incredible team of people who continue to make a difference every single day. Among them is Libby Pollard, who has been with us for an amazing 29 years, nearly 3 decades of dedication, and she deserves a very special acknowledgement. And when you add together the years of service from the staff in the room tonight, It totals actually more than 605 years of combined experience. That is so much knowledge, commitment, and probably enough stories to keep us here until next year's anniversary celebration. Can I just ask all current staff to please stand so we can acknowledge and thank you right now. All current staff, are we upstanding? Nobody hiding in the room? Point them out if you can see somebody that's not standing up. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's more than 6 centuries of passion, inclusion, care and community impact right there. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy your entrees now and we'll be back soon. Let's give all of these ladies a warm welcome and a big round of applause. And I'm going to hand over to Tom and he's going to have a chat with these wonderful women.
I promise these questions won't be too tricky, ladies. We really want to share some of the GCRS stories, the milestones and the legacies that have brought us to this celebration tonight. So let's start with you, Margaret. You're a founding member of Gold Coast Rec and Sport. When did you first become involved?
Well, many years ago, the beginnings of the idea of disability sport and recreation came from a person called Brian Solosky, who worked at the National Fitness Camp at Tallabudgera, and he was directed to investigate sport and recreation for people with disabilities. So Desmond, one of the ladies here tonight, who was on his committee, invited me to join their committee, and from there on, other committee members joined.
What are your earliest memories of GCRS?
Pardon?
Your earliest memories?
I think my earliest memories were being on the committee with various people, families, people with disabilities, professional people who worked in the field of disability, and working together to establish an organisation well before we had any staff, paid staff. So we organised camps and sports days and swimming carnivals and all of those activities without very much sporting knowledge or experience.
Margaret, you've watched this organisation go from strength to strength. How do you feel sitting here tonight?
Oh well, it was beyond our original expectations, that's for sure. And our initial plans of doing this organisational work without any staff made it very difficult. But now, then from employing someone like Anna, and then the, 189 people here now, it's well beyond our dreams and expectations.
Thank you, Margaret, for your contribution to the milestone we are celebrating tonight. You've been integral in shaping everything that GCRS stands for. Margaret played a major part in securing funding for GCRS so they could employ its first recreation officer back in 1986, and that was Anna Louise Pasolke. Now let's have a chat with Glenda. Could you just pass the microphone over? She's one of our long-term family members whose lives were touched by GCRS when they moved from Sydney in 1984. Glenda, first question for you. Can you share a moment or a story that has stayed with you over the years?
Yes, the one that comes to mind was perhaps the first time I saw this young, blonde woman in a swimming suit, bathers, togs, whatever you call them up here, surrounded by 20 or so kids with disabilities, as we used to call them then and still do now, I suppose. But this young woman inspired me because she felt so natural for a young person to be around kids with quite challenging behaviours and things. And she was in the swimmers, and some of the kids were wet, some of them weren't, some of them, obviously in the pool, but she was just natural, she was happy, she was in control, and I thought, wow, that's impressive. Anyway, our son Aaron was in the next race, and we didn't really realise he could swim that much. He splashed a lot, and I suppose if you splash enough, you propel yourself forward, and that's what he was doing. Anyway, he was in the race, and Dennis, my husband, and I were cheering him on, and he heard us call his name, and anyway, he stopped in the middle of the pool and waved to us, and then he realised he couldn't touch the bottom of the pool. Anyway, this young girl, straight out of uni, whizzed past and said, "Aaron, stop waving to your parents and keep swimming, otherwise you'll drown." And off he went. So I was super impressed by this young lady, 40 years ago, and that hasn't changed in that 40 years.
You mentioned 40 years and you mentioned change, Glenda. What change have you seen in those 4 decades?
Oh, there's lots of changes that I've seen. First of all, the size of the Gold Coast Rep and Sport compared it was huge now. As you mentioned, 187 staff, and I believe 40% of those staff members have been there over 5 years, or many a lot more than that. So that's a huge change. Also, the location, they weren't always where they are now. And also the variety of sports and activities that Gold Coast Rep and Sport provide has just grown exponentially. And I think whoever seems to come there, whatever they want to do, Gold Coast Rep and Sport enable them to do it. It may not be exactly the way they want to do it, but it's pretty close to it, so that's very inspiring.
Finally, Glenda, you mentioned connection and time spent in roles. What is it that keeps me to acknowledge the time that many of these people have been involved in this organisation, but what do you think has kept people involved for so long?
I think the leadership in an organisation is outstanding. I think Gold Coast Rep and Sport is admired and respected amongst other organisations on the Gold Coast. They're looked up to. They're a leader in the field. I think a lot of organisations aspire to get on in. So I think it comes from the leadership and the training that their staff get, and the communities that they build along the way. We've made lots of friendships over that time, and a lot of them are here today. My son's made even more. He knows every woman in the house, I think. It's given them all a trouble anyway. So yeah, friendships are really, really important, especially for kids with disabilities, because they find it hard, I think, to make lifelong friends. But Rep and Sport facilitates that in a huge way with their staff and their committee. So, yes.
Glenda, thanks for sharing your story.
Okay.
Last and certainly not least, on our panel this evening is the Indomitable Dawn Critchlow, OAU. It's lovely to speak to you again, Dawn. And not about things council related. As a young journalist, I used to be so scared of you when I used to come to your office. I did. Can you go and talk to Dawn about this?
I know, because I've got a sour look on my face.
Well, you did. But I realised that there was a heart underneath that, and we're seeing that's why you're involved with this. How did you first become associated with GCRS?
They needed a bigger place than what they had. And there was this kindergarten, well, it wasn't it, it's a junior school at Southport, down there behind the RSL club there. And I went down there one day because they had people in there teaching you how to make candles. And so I thought, this is really good, they're nice people. And so I spent a few days learning how to make candles, and then I set my unit on fire because I didn't know how to do it properly. So I didn't learn very much. And then I met Anna, and they needed premises, and we took that building from there and put it in Owen Park. Fantastic. And the best thing is when you see the people turn up of a morning to have their friends or relatives go to things with a happy look on their face. It's good.
Dawn, what do you think made Gold Coast Rep and Sport so special from the beginning?
Yeah, the people. Yeah, the people that were running it, for sure. Because you'd see the parents turn up, or the families turn up, and the everybody's happy to get out and do things that's happening. You know, there's so many good things happening there, and they become very creative.
Final question, Dawn.
And Anna, she created it.
We're going to acknowledge Anna.
Yeah, Anna Desardi, a legend.
Finally, Dawnie, how important have the partnerships and collaboration been to the organisation's success?
How would I know?
I don't know, you were part of the organisation that helped.
Oh, wasn't.
Well, you were part of the council.
Yeah, but
You're
no.
getting in trouble again.
No. We did that. That was a project. Then we moved on to the next project and the next project, and everybody's happy. And we filled up Owen Hart, the music hall, the Hall of Fame, which is a disaster now. And then we've got the embroidery people that was given to us by a gentleman, gave us that old house. I like building things. It was all good.
You were always a doer, Dawnie. It's
Yeah,
so
I
nice.
reckon sport is good.
Can I just thank, ladies and gentlemen, Dawn Critchlow, Glenda Mullinger and Margaret Burns. The reflections highlight the impact this organisation has had on the individuals and community. Tonight it is all about celebrating the people and the partnerships behind the success of GCRS. Thank you for sharing your stories, ladies.
We're going to continue to acknowledge the many people in this room tonight. You're all obviously huge contributors of the success of Gold Coast Rec and Sport, but we do just want to recognise a few people here and there. Where's table 5? Pop up your hands. Where's table 5? Over here? Oh, there they are. Hi, guys. Lisa Stewart and Bruce are true rollerblades royalty, having played a pivotal role in the development and long-term success of wheelchair basketball on the Gold Coast since 2008. Their legacy of dedication, leadership and community spirit continues to be deeply valued and carried on today through Ben and Gail and the wider Rollerblades family. A big round of applause for the people on table number 5. We're getting to a really important part of our evening now, and that is our awards celebration. Gold Coast Rec and Sport continues to evolve as a meaningful and exciting organisation that has really made a dramatic difference in the lives of so many people with disabilities and, really importantly, supported their families. It is the many people in this room tonight who have made the organisation so successful. Past and present families, staff, committee members, friends and participants make Gold Coast Rec and Sport what it is today, and it will continue to evolve. A special acknowledgement tonight to Desley Bartel, who ran a joint Gold Coast Rec and Sport swimming program with Community Health and helped create opportunities for so many participants over the years. This is a great story. Desley was actually tracked down by Margaret Byrne, who we spoke to earlier, who rang around every golf course in Hervey Bay to ask her to attend, and she found her. So tonight we're incredibly proud to recognise also 84 participants whose involvement with Gold Coast Rec and Sport reflects many years of friendship, commitment and contribution. So bear with us as we move through this section, please. At your seats, some of you will find a certificate, and for some participants, a special milestone badge. First of all, we would like to acknowledge all participants receiving a valued participation certificate We may need friends and family to assist with this part of the program, if you wouldn't mind, please. So those with 10 years of service, if you are comfortable and able, please stand or wave proudly from your seats so we can celebrate you together. Would all those with a valued participation certificate please stand? Wonderful drum roll for you. Thank you all for being such an important part of the Gold Coast rec and sport community. Please be seated, all those people. It's over to you, Tom.
Congratulations, 10 years. Would everybody with a 20-year badge please stand? Congratulations, 20 years, and thank you for your contribution. Please be seated. Would everyone with a 25-year badge please stand? Phenomenal. Congratulations and thank you for your contribution.
And another round of applause. 25 years, right here. Amazing contribution. And can we now ask for everyone with a 30-year badge to please stand? This is really demonstrating the breadth of support for this organisation. 30 years. Congratulations and thank you for your extraordinary commitment over so many years. And finally, believe it or not, absolutely we do. Would everyone with a 35-year badge please stand? There needs to be another round of applause for those 35-year award participants. What an incredible achievement. More than 35 years of dedication, connection and contribution is really, truly something special. Thank you for your lasting impact you have made on the Gold Coast recreation, sport and recreation organisation and community.
Can we now also acknowledge those participants and families who have contributed to GCRS and were an important part of the community but are no longer with us? Their impact, friendship and memories remain an important part of the GCRS family. I think that the dance floor is going to light up fairly shortly, Tan.
I think it could.
People are already getting up there already. Main meals will now be served.
Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause, please, for the wonderful Anna Louise Pasolki.
Anna is recognised as one of Australia's foremost advocates and leaders in creating sporting opportunities for people with disabilities, ranging from grassroots initiatives to elite level competitions. For over 3 decades, Anna's tireless efforts have significantly enriched the lives of thousands, transforming both the sporting landscape and the futures of countless individuals, many of them here in the room tonight. After completing her university studies and volunteering with Sporting Wheelies, Anna began her career with Gold Coast Recreation and Sport in 1986. Initially hired as the sole recreation officer, she played a pivotal role in the organisation's growth and was appointed CEO in 2013. Under her leadership, the organisation now supports over 600 participants with disabilities and a dedicated team of 189 staff, seamlessly navigating the transition to the National Disability Insurance Scheme. Her ability to manage the expectations of all stakeholders throughout this transition is testament to her exceptional leadership and commitment.
Good evening, one and all. I've been giving very clear instructions to keep this short. And after the work of our MC extraordinaires, Tamara and Tom, and their engaging interviews, I don't have too much left to say. But before I do go any further, could I just ask Rochelle and Acacia to come onto the stage to show our gratitude and appreciation to Tam and Tom. So, I'm breaking... Oh, they don't want to do that. Okay, we'll do that later. And I'll just skip those words. Is that right? Okay, great. Okay, let me just move to... I was going to acknowledge Rochelle, but I'll do that later too. Let me skip to page 2. I could have asked AI how to sum up 40 years, but I'm not sure that I would have been given the response that I was looking for, and certainly, and those that know me probably know that I wouldn't have known how to do it either. So many stories, and I sincerely hope these stories are being shared tonight, as that certainly was the intent of gathering tonight. To bring the extended Gold Coast Rec and Sport community together to celebrate and acknowledge what has been an extraordinary 40 years. From humble beginnings, where Marion and I acquired planks for our buildings from a building site in Mermaid Beach for shelves in our office, and regular raids of the stationery cupboard at Benoa TAFE, it's fair to say we've come a long way from those toilet blocks and the janitor's room. And I'm sure that house at Mermaid Beach didn't miss those stairs that we very capably made into shelves with a couple of Bessie Brocks. So many people have inspired us and supported us. Gold Coast Rec and Sport deeply values its history and its future promise, and to share this with you all tonight is extremely special. It's been talked about already. We value our connections and relationships, but most importantly, we have and continue to surround ourselves with people who care and who've had a vision. We've heard about Neil and Margaret, and to all past and present Gold Coast Rec and Sport Committee, thank you for everything you've done in sharing the vision of the organisation. A particular acknowledgement to Neil and Marg for seeing something in me all those years ago, and thank you for your ongoing friendship and mentoring. A special mention to my lifelong friend, Julianne. There's no question that the news of Julianne's accident back in 1982 and my subsequent visit to her in the spinal unit impacted me and ultimately shaped my career. So thanks, Jules, for being here tonight. It means the world to me. Marion, your 21 years have been spoken about briefly, but a particular mention to you and Rosemary, as together we built the strong foundations of what we see today. There was no such time as overtime in those days. There was work to be done, and we just did it. If things got a little stressful or challenging, Rosemary and I played a practical joke or two on Marion to lighten our day, and all was well. Marion, you will not be surprised to know that staff are still being challenged in many different areas. However, maybe not to the extent you were challenged all those years ago. High ropes courses, paddling rapids, corporate triathlons. You did it all, and for anyone that knows Marion, she was not the most athletic type, but she was up for the challenge. Rosemary, You'll be pleased to know that as recent as 3 weeks ago, we were hammering nails on the veranda at Ashton House in anticipation of our NDIS mid-year audit. And that was always a bit of a tradition. The night before audit, we'd be nailing in dawn, thanks for that magnificent building, but the nails on the veranda used to cause us a little bit of grief, but Rosemary would be out there with her hammer, hammering the nails. To all our families, what a privilege it's been and continues to be part of your lives. The well-known proverb, "It takes a village to raise a child," is even more critical in the lives of those we support, and it takes us back to the true meaning of community. Thank you for allowing us to be part of your lives, both pre and as recent as tonight. Tom mentioned it earlier, but I needed to mention this as well. For all our members of the extended Gold Coast Rec and Sport community, we've shared the joys and the sorrows, the remarkable achievements of our participants, along with many significant milestones, births, marriages, birthdays, and sadly the deaths of participants, staff and valued community members. I particularly like to acknowledge the family members who have been brave enough to be with us here tonight, whose loved ones are no longer with us. You and your loved ones are etched in our history and certainly in our memories. To the broader Gold Coast community, thank you for continuing to have the critical conversations with us to ensure that the City of Gold Coast is the most inclusive city. Our community partners have been talked about, and I'm not going to acknowledge those, but I wanted to say that if Daph was still with us today, she would be reminding us that we still have work to do, and we will get there. Exciting times ahead. To Angie Bell, thank you, Angie. To Nick, Councillors Joe and Nick, I can't imagine how many invitations you guys get to attend events in your respective roles. Thank you for prioritising this on your busy calendars. It means a lot to us. And it is getting close because this lady hasn't been mentioned tonight. But finally, to my 94-year-old mum and my younger brother Chris, who are here tonight, you continue to inspire me every day. Thanks, Mum. Thanks, Chris. The great medieval mystic and German philosopher Meister Eckhart preached that if only one prayer we ever said was thank you, it would be enough. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we need a much bigger round of applause for Anna Louise. Absolutely, standing ovation. 40 years making a difference in so many people's lives, families, communities. Anna and her team have changed people's lives. We need more people like this on the Gold Coast, but we are so lucky to have Anna Louise. And I'm sorry that Tom and I missed the cue before.
What?
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's right. No. This was my first page, Tam and Tom, and I got rudely interrupted by Acacia and Rochelle. So I'm going to simply say that our MC extraordinaires, Tamara and Tom, thank you for your engaging interviews. Oh, what am I saying? See, I'm all out of whack now. Tam, we are grateful that you came into our world of Gold Coast recreation and sport through our mutual and dear friend and mentor, the late Daph, all those years ago. She would be incredibly proud that you are continuing her legacy through your ongoing support of us. So thank you, Tam. And just, okay, let's give Tam that. And as with so many connections in relationships in life, Tom, you were called to assist your dear friend Tamara tonight, who were quoted today as saying you would do anything for Tam. And that's how it works, right? friendships and connections. Thank you, Tom, for the wonderful job you've done with Tamara tonight. I also have a little other note here, because Rochelle and Acacia, you need to come forward, please. Firstly, as my note said, while on stage, can I acknowledge Rochelle firstly for the outstanding job she has done in coordinating tonight's celebration. She has been the voice on the end of the phone or the email signature on the end of your emails over the last 6 months. Rochelle loves people and their stories, and the number of people that have told me tonight how much they loved their engagement with Rochelle in the lead up to tonight's events, I've lost count. So there was no better person than to coordinate tonight's event. Rochelle manages our major events through the year, and clearly this was a special addition to what is already a busy calendar. Thanks, Rochelle, for embracing the significance of this event. It means the world to me. And to Acacia and Rochelle, Acacia here, and our other Rochelle, our project managers, thank you for your part in the success of tonight. These two ladies here, 17 years at Gold Coast Recreation and Sport, 18 years in July of this year. Rochelle was an incredibly welcome addition to our team 3 years ago. And these girls are just remarkable. So I just needed to acknowledge them while they were on stage. So Rochelle, Acacia and Rochelle, thank you, ladies.
So many thank yous. Such an amazing evening. I don't think I can remember a time when I've been in a happier room. It's been an absolute privilege to be up here this evening, and I look forward to continuing my association with Gold Coast Rec and Sport. And thank you for having me. I'll hand over to Tom.
I just want to finish by saying this has been an incredible evening. The acknowledgement that has been bestowed upon so many people, Anna included, has been wonderful to watch. I think we're almost over for the night. We've got the band to come out one more time. Mackenzie will be out shortly. Please enjoy the rest of your evening. The formal part of the evening is over. Have a wonderful night.
40 years. Celebrate accordingly and have lots of fun.
Combination. Until I was a boogie singer, I am playing in a rock and roll band. Never had no problems, no. Burning down the good nightstand. See everybody around me. Yeah, just like a feeling saying, oh. And I decided quickly, yes, I need it. Just got down to check out the sound. Everybody dancing, singing, moving to the groove. Just like with me, darling, turn around, shout, play that funky music, right boy. Play that funky music, play that funky music, right boy. Play that funky music tonight.
Her passion and love for sport is what brought her to the organisation. She became involved in Gold Coast Rec and Sport through Bobby Welsh, who is a participant, and her mother, Marie Welsh. Along with Daph's niece, Jodie Holmes, who is here tonight, Bobby and Marie are also in the room with us tonight. Where are you, Bobby and Marie? Can we? Her passion and love for sport is what brought her to the organisation. She became involved in Gold Coast Rec and Sport through Bobby Welsh, who is a participant, and her mother, Marie Welsh. Along with Daph's niece, Jodie Holmes, who is here tonight, Bobby and Marie are also in the room with us tonight. Where are you, Bobby and Marie? Can we see you anywhere? Oh, hi. Lovely to see you down there. Daph strongly believed in equal opportunity for everyone in sport. For all of those who knew her, they knew that she was a champion in her own right, and it was only natural that she became patron of Gold Coast Rec and Sport. Daph shared her passion for this organisation with me, and that's why I'm here today. And I asked the very talented and sport-loving ABC broadcaster, Tom Forbes,